You know, interestingly, Americans still think that Jeep is an American brand. In fact, in a survey, right, the annual most American brand survey, Jeep was voted number one in the whole of America. But the funny thing is, it's barely even American owned and barely even manufactured in America. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking, great to see you. Hope you've had an amazing week. Thank you to our Patreon supporters of the channel. Really this year, you have made the channel possible. Big thanks to you guys. Appreciate your support. I'll put a link in the description below to our Patreon page as well. If you want to invest in shares, if you want to invest in BYD or Xpeng or NIO or Tesla or any other automaker, Lucid, Rivian, etc., you can do that through the Stake app. Now I'll put my code in the description below. Click on that code, and when you make an account with Stake, you'll get a free stock. You can get stocks. The cheapest one you'll get is worth about $6 US, but if you're lucky, you'll get Nike, and they're about $110 US right now. So it's worth doing. It's worth getting started. It's worth people have said to me recently, "What car should I buy?" And I say, you know what? Buy the most affordable electric car you can buy. Invest the rest. Invest the rest. That's my advice, always. So if you're wondering why I'm not driving around in a expensive car, because I want to invest the rest. And for a long time, in fact, I drove around in an absolute bomb of a car. The thing was probably worth about $1,000 US. It was an old Mitsubishi Magna station wagon. I drove that thing into the ground, absolutely into the ground. And people thought I was literally impoverished. I'm telling you, people would look at me and they'd be like, "Oh, that dude, he's poor. He's poor, that guy." You know what I was doing? I was investing every single cent that I had. Literally, I was trying to build something. And that is what enabled me to be here now and to have this YouTube channel, have the ability to make these videos. If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be here. So spend less, invest the rest. That's my advice. Now, as you guys know, I'm highly critical of Australians who mock Americans. A lot of Australians do it. It's become part of our Australian culture, unfortunately. Not all of you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying if you're Australian that you definitely do this. But many of my friends, many people that I know, mock Americans. They say Americans are stupid. Americans are this. America's a bad place to live. And I think, have you been there? Did you just go to LA? Did you just go to New York and decided based on that you don't want to live there? Or was this the media told you that you should believe these stories? Personally, as many of you know, I spent a lot of time in America. In fact, I rode my bike from Seattle down to Mexico, along that coast there. And I did a bit of riding in New York and on the East Coast as well, but mostly on the West Coast. And, I had so many positive experiences that I personally sometimes feel more of an affinity with Americans than I do with Australians. And I feel like you guys are actually nicer in general than Australians are. Now, that's not everyone. I'm generalizing here. Not everyone. Of course, I know there's definitely exceptions to every rule, but it was my experience that if I had a choice, I would definitely consider living in America. Absolutely no question about it. But I have to question the intelligence of the Americans that responded to this survey. I mean, seriously, 6,000 Americans respond to this survey every year. And these guys are not aware of the fact that Jeep is really not even an American brand anymore. Shocking to me is the fact that the most American car brand by a million miles, which is Tesla, right? Unless you want to say Rivian, I mean, maybe you could say that about Rivian as well, is not even on the list, not even in the top 40. Now, when they did this survey last year, right, Tesla ranked in 30th place, Jeep ranked in first. They did the survey again this year, Jeep is still first. Let's have a look at the actual reality of these two brands. Okay, Cars.com, American Made Index. This is an examination of which cars are the most actually made in America. It ranks all qualifying vehicles built and bought in the US for the third time in its 17-year history. The 2022 study follows the same guidelines as it did in the previous years, ranking 95 vehicles through the same 5 criteria: assembly location, parts content, engine origins, transmission origins, and US manufacturing workforce. Now, as I shared with you in the video looking at this list, Tesla Model Y came in first place. Tesla Model 3 came in second place. The Lincoln Corsair, which is barely sold, came in third place. The Honda Passport came in fourth. Tesla Model X was fifth. Tesla Model S was sixth. Jeep Cherokee was seventh. The Honda Ridgeline was 8th, Honda Odyssey was 9th, and the Honda Pilot was 10th. Now, there's actually 20 cars listed here. Ford and General Motors barely rank in this list. They only have a couple of models. As you can see, they have none, or virtually none, close to none in the top 10. Jeep has only one, right? The Jeep Cherokee in 7th place. But that group, the FCA group, which is part of the whole ownership of Jeep, they also do have the Dodge Durango in 19th place. So we're looking at Jeep Cherokee 7th, Dodge Durango in 19th. So clearly, as you can see, Jeeps and Dodges, that whole group, their vehicles are barely considered American made. And this is not some Tesla website. These are the facts. Now let's actually have a look at Jeep's actual ownership. That's very complex, but I'm just going to give you a simple overview. Wikipedia says this: Jeep is an American automobile marquee, now owned by multinational corporation Stellantis. Jeep has been part of Chrysler since 1997, when Chrysler acquired the Jeep brand along with the remaining assets from its previous owner, American Motors Corporation. Well, now when we look at Fiat Chrysler automobiles, Wikipedia says this: FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, was an Italian-American multinational corporation primarily known as a manufacturer of automobiles, commercial vehicles, auto parts, and production systems. The Italian holding company Exor was the largest shareholder and owner of voting rights. At the time, it was the world's 8th largest automobile maker. The group was established in October 2014 through the merger of Chrysler Group and Fiat SPA. Its corporate headquarters were domiciled in Amsterdam, and its financial headquarters were in London, neither in the United States. The holding company was listed on the New York Stock Exchange and Milan's Borsa Italiana. Exor, an Italian investment group controlled by the Agnelli family, owned 30% of FCA and controlled 44.3% through a loyalty voting mechanism. FCA's mass market brands operated through two main subsidiaries: FCA Italy, previously Fiat Group Automobiles, with headquarters in Turin, and FCA US in Auburn Hills, Michigan. The company's portfolio included brands Abarth, Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, Dodge, Fiat, Fiat Professional, Jeep, Lancia, Maserati, and Ram trucks. Ferrari was spun off in 2016. FCA operated in 4 global markets. On October the 31st, 2019, FCA announced its intention to merge with the PSA Group, owner of the Peugeot and Citroën brands, among others, on a 50-50 all-stock basis. On the 18th of September 2019, FCA and PSA announced that they had agreed to the terms of a binding $50 billion merger. In July 2020, the company announced its new name, Stellantis. On the 16th of January 2021, after FCA and PSA both having approved the merger on the 4th of January of the same year, the merger was complete, with FCA resulted as a surviving entity and changed its name to Stellantis. Now, as you can see, this is a big company. However, it's not even headquartered in the United States. In fact, it has no headquarters in the US, financially or otherwise. Reality is, right, the Jeep part of this scenario, the Jeep and Dodge part of this, and the Ram part of this scenario, is now owned more by people outside of America than what it is inside of America. This is not an American brand. Now, it once was, and Americans perceive it as an American brand. But as you can see, from its manufacturing and its actual ownership, it's not really all that American after all. Now let's have a look at the actual other brands in the top 10 list. And you tell me, I want to hear what you have to say about whether you think these brands are really as American as people in America think they are. In second place after Jeep was Disney. In third place was Amazon and Walmart. In fourth place, Coca-Cola. In fifth place, American Express. Sixth place, Apple. Well, where does Apple manufacture their products? I mean, these guys make 95% of their product in Asia, right? In China, Taiwan, and in fact also in Vietnam, other Asian countries. That doesn't sound that American to me. But anyway, seventh place was Levi. 8th Hershey's, 9th Pfizer, 10th Domino's. And if you want to, I'll put the rest of the list up on the screen. You can have a look at that. Now, personally, I don't know what's going on. Why do people think that companies like Apple, who don't manufacture their product in America, are more American than Tesla? I mean, I don't get it. Does someone in America know what's going on here? Because frankly, I'm kind of shocked. I'm really surprised that Americans think Tesla isn't very American, and that they think Jeep is actually the number one most American brand in the world. I mean, really, this is what you call marketing at its best. This is a kind of marketing deception that Toyota has played upon people in the West. Toyota has spent billions of dollars trying to convince you that their vehicles are the best. They're the most, what do they say? The most reliable, right? The most reliable vehicles you can buy. Well, have a look at the recalls Toyota has done over the last decade. Frankly, I'm getting emails from you guys left, right, and center showing me all these different things going on with Toyota vehicles right now. Apparently, right now, Toyota is being sued by thousands of people for massive paint defects on their cars. I thought Tesla was the one who had paint defects. You know what? The media hasn't said a word about these paint problems on Toyota cars. That's funny. Why is that? Maybe it's because Toyota spends a lot of money advertising through different media, and the media want to keep that cash train going. So what I suggest, this is my suggestion, this is what I do for me. The media tells you something, check it first, because it might not actually be true. For example, Jeep versus Tesla. Which one is more American? Well, the facts are very clear. It's certainly not Jeep. Thank you for watching.